Welcome back to My Creative Chronic Life, and today we are sharing from the One Page at a Time. We have our Hobonichi Techo Avec, is it? And it's in an A6 size. I think I did a little haul where I shared the actual Hobonichi planner, but I didn't really share the setup. I decided on a whim that I would do it off camera, but I thought we could pop on today and I could give you a closer look. So the cover I'm using is the Aura Estelle cloud cover, and I picked this up in a D-stash many years ago. I think I've got a video on my channel which I'll link for you below, and I decorated it with some beautiful checkered vellum, and this is from Josephine Bow Designs. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. So if you see, automatically I decided to go for the kind of pink with the blue theme. The previous setup that I had was quite pink and purple, and I really wanted to lean in with the cover that we have from the Hobonichi Techo. So I decided that I just was going to change up a couple of things, use what I've already got at home rather than purchasing new things just for another setup. So we have a mixture of things. A couple of things have stayed the same, but if you're watching this for the first time, we'll just kind of speak from the get-go. So we have my pins here. These bottom two, along with this one and this one, are all from Colour Cafe. This one and this one were gifted to me by a friend, so I'm not quite sure. I decided to use the same checkered vellum throughout this setup, and that is from Josephine Bow Designs. Now some of these pockets are quite deep, so I think this is meant to be for like one of them wallets or things that you can take on the go, because it did come with like an elastic, so you could have it almost like a traveler journal size, but I just use it for this. I don't really take it with me on the go. And again, I added some greens in there, the checkered, some pink, and the gold. Even though we've got like a silver zip, it doesn't really bother me to mix metals. We have some cardstock which kind of ties in with the green, the purple and the blue, and of course my wonderful lace piece. And then underneath that, to kind of make it pop, I just added in one of the older, I have like sweet packets, and I have a mixture of them in different colours. So I just folded that up and added that in there. I could have cut it down to size, but I decided I was going against that just in case I decided I want to change it up in the new year. And all I've got to do is take these things out and I can reuse them for scrap journaling or for something else. So that was absolutely fine. Then here, I'm not sure if it'll be accessible to see. So this is the original cover. So this is what really made me think about the colours together. So all I did was I cut down a piece of this beautiful vellum. Now this is from the Pen Party collection from Josephine Bow Designs. I added this really pink striped Hello 2026 sticker from Colour Cafe. And then if you're aware that Josephine Bow Designs has like these beautiful vibrant sticker kits, and this Reach for the Stars is one of them sticker kits. I had a book recently that I picked up from Etsy, which is one of my small business stationery hauls. So you can see that over on my YouTube channel. Again, the link will be in the description box below, where I shared like a haul. So I added some of them stickers. I cut half up there and put half up there, and I just thought I just wanted it to look like a kind of mini dashboard. And then we have this pin here, which I just stick to keep that in place, and it's worked out really well. I love the combination of it, because on the outside it just looks pretty plain, and then when you open it up, it's like such a wonderful pop of colour, but also not the usual pinks that I go for. Obviously the actual checkered in itself is this quite vibrant check, but because it's got the blue underneath, it mutes down the colours, which again I absolutely love. I really love this setup. I love how easy it was to set up and how minimalistic it is. I know there's a lot of different elements going on, but this is what I had in the previous setup, so I just thought I'll switch a couple of things around and it will be much easier for me to use. So here to cut well, it had like the 2026 Hobonichi sign, so I used this sticker kit. I think it's from Wright Designs, and all it said is, "It was a quiet morning and the light fell gently around the pages of the book. Nothing seemed urgent, and for a moment time itself felt still." And I felt like this is fitting for the journal that I'm going to use it for. I have some leftover stickers. This is pretty much all leftovers. I've not bought nothing new from last year's 2026 setup. You have like the mini setups that you get for like the Hobonichi A5, but I decided to keep them because I didn't have a need for it. I am thinking about covering this page up, but then again, it's not often that I'll be looking at the calendar for 2025 or for 2027, so I just thought I would leave it blank. It's okay. Then you have these monthly set. This is in Japanese, I think, to the best of my knowledge, but again, doesn't really bother me whatsoever, because if I am going to use it, it's going to just start from the first to the end anyway. It does start from June, which I thought was really helpful. I'm not quite sure what I want to track in here, so we'll kind of see what I do decide. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. So this is the same pen party washi collection that I've used with the acetate and the vellum, and then these monthly scripts are from Harriet Designs, and I just thought it was a nice way of adding a little pop of colour. I've kept it very simple. It does start from June, and I use the quiet chapters to set it up. And again, I'm not quite sure what I want the monthlies to be, and I'm a bit stuck, to be honest, but I thought I could always go back or just leave it decorated. So I used the quiet chapters little kit. It was an 8-page kit. Again, I've got a video on my channel which I'll link in the description. The little headers are actually headers from a kit which I cut down to size just so I could cover them up. And again, I just thought it's really, really pretty. I loved the version of all of this, and I just think it's so cute. So this is the month of July. I haven't set that up yet. I thought we could do that together. And then it finishes, I think it was January of 2027. So that's really good. You then get a couple. Did you get a couple? Yeah. You get a couple of blank pages, and no idea what I want to use them for either. And then we jump into the month of July. So for me, what I wanted was for this planner to be about not negative feelings, not saying that I have negative feelings, but have a different journal to write thoughts and feelings, good or bad. And I use the Kaku planner from Colour Cafe in the tea and size, but I sometimes realise that it's mostly negative about if I've had a bad day or how I'm feeling unwell and whatnot. And with chronic conditions, it's very difficult to find good in a day. So what I really wanted was this planner to be that, to find the good in the day, even though it may seem like it's not really happening, but if I sit down and think about it, it's definitely happening. So rather than just jumping onto day one with pictures that I save like from day-to-day life, I didn't really have anything for the 1st of July, and that's usual for somebody who has chronic illnesses and health conditions and disabilities. It's not often that I take pictures, it's not often that I'm out and about, so I picked up the little book from Sticky Bee Stationeries and Start and Joy over on Etsy, and we have some washi tape from a friend that gifted me, and then this kind of words here are from Salam Creative, her alphabet washi. So rather than use physical pictures, which I will be using moving forward or when I've got pictures available to use, I decided that I wanted to do a mid-year reflection. So what we did was I just found a prompt online, and it says what I want July to feel like. So calm mornings, slow moments, good books, creativity, organization, and peacefulness. Probably peacefulness. And then I had a little section here that we talked about our mid-year reflections, and this year has taught me to go with the flow and accept things I cannot change. Life rarely follows the plans we make, and I've become better at adjusting my expectations and finding peace in what is rather than what I wish it to be. Moving forward, I want to focus on creating more organization and finding a home for everything around me. I want to keep what makes me happy and let go of what doesn't, and continue building a life that feels calm, creative, peaceful, and intentional, choosing what matters to me. And then I thought this was really good to add what stays belongs. Now, if you follow me for a while or you follow me across my social media, you know that I suffer a lot with autoimmune conditions, chronic conditions, disabilities. I spend a lot of time isolating because of those illnesses, and it's been either I'm having something done, or I'm waiting for a procedure, or I'm having an operation, which I'm still waiting for, by the way, and it just feels like that it's never ending and I can't seem to catch up. I might get a week or so where things are good and I'm organizing and things are being put back, and then before I know it, 4 weeks have gone and it's, a drawer's messy, which is fine in the long run, but if you've got 10 drawers that are all messy, you start to feel like you have a messy brain. So this is where, moving forward, I just want to create little bit by bit, because I love to create things which keep me centered and keep me calm. But organization and finding a home for everything is very important. I found the first 6 months of this year to be quite chaotic, and it gave me a lot of time to think. I did create a future me problems journal, which I shared recently on my YouTube channel, where I talked about the different things that I want to get done and why I created the Future Me journal. So this kind of goes all coincide together. So I did think that I would be able to possibly do this daily, but then at the same time I decided that I'm not going to put so much pressure on doing a daily thing where I can pick a prompt and just write about the prompt after the fact. My intention is to do this daily, but so far we're on, I think, the 4th or 5th today, and I've only done the first day, which is fine, and that's intentional. I've left it to see what I capture, and if I capture some pictures, I'm going to print them out. And I've just been working on my reading journal, so this kind of taken a back burner, but again, I am writing notes down in my phone daily, so if I want to write something in the journal, I can do that as well. Now, I just want to share where the inspiration has come from this. I will tag if I can. If not, you'll be able to search for her on YouTube, because she's recently started sharing YouTube as well, and Instagram. She's called Munchiko, and she plans beautifully, and she uses these washi type pictures, and I really love her style of that, but I wanted to obviously make it my own. She uses boxes, she uses pictures, she uses stickers, and I just thought, I love all of them things, but what a way to combine that into this smaller section. Obviously hers is, I think, 2 A5 layouts, and she does it absolutely stunningly. So my inspiration for this spread has come from her. Now that might not mean it might be the same every single time. It could definitely be different depending on what we've got going on. I do like her concept of changing the colour per day or per week or per month, which I think is wonderful. So I think I might do the same, because it just will give it a little bit of a change up. And then here we have some little tabs, and these are left over from last year's 6 months, which I didn't start a journal from, and these are from no, they're not, they're from Josephine Bow Designs, and I decided to add them in with a space, just because I knew that I wouldn't be able to fit them all together, and I just thought it's going to look brilliant this way. I really like how it's feeling so far, and I think this is more about a feeling than anything else. And I think sometimes we forget that if something doesn't feel good, we shouldn't necessarily continue on. And if it's not giving you something to look forward to, if it's not giving you something to focus on, or you're not wanting to go back to it, then it's not serving you a purpose right now. And if it's not serving you a purpose right now, that doesn't mean it's not going to serve you a purpose in the future. It just means you might need to take a break and take a step back. And I think that's what I found about journaling overall. I feel really guilty for having empty spaces, for not having things filled out, for not being caught up. Like, you see people online and they are literally every single day they're posting brand new pages, and it's like, I can't even get through. I'm missing, I'm like behind 3 months. I don't understand. And if you've got more than one hobby, so for example, if you knit or you sew or you bake or you like to read, and then you also like to journal and be creative, there's only so many hours in a day that you can realistically give yourself for that project. And I sometimes find that my hobbies are fighting between themselves to get first place, and then because of that I feel bad and I feel guilty. Whereas now I've decided that if something feels good in the moment, and today it's this Hobonichi A6, I'm going to do that. And if it's sitting down and doing a couple of rows of knitting, I'll be doing that. If it's writing, I'll be doing that. I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. And if I have empty pages because I'm writing the notes in my phone, I can always go back when I'm ready. And if I don't, I can just print some pictures out, or I can print some florals and just colour it in florals, or take out my pens or pencils and just do a little bit of drawing. But I'm not going to put that pressure on myself anymore. And I know there's usually a lot around the first, the beginning of the year, where you're setting up your ecosystem, and then you get to the first quarter, and then it's like second quarter, right, we're revamping, everybody's getting new journals, and then we're like, oh, did we make the right decision? And then you're back already into the third quarter, and then we're back in December. And then you look back and you think, well, people have got massive chunks of their planners completed, but we haven't. And I think that boils back down to, sometimes we can't fit in everything. We can either schedule it on a daily, weekly basis, that you focus on Hobonichi on a Monday, you focus on your knitting on a Tuesday, if you want to be quite strict. But for me, if you're like me, I'm I wake up today feeling like, oh, I want to do my reading journal. Okay, no, I think today I'm going to knit. Today I'm going to rest. Whatever that feeling might be, I think it's really important to recognize and feed what makes you feel happy. So this is kind of my own version of food, isn't it? Where something makes you happy and it's relaxing you and it's feeding what you need, then that's good. Go for that. So I thought today what we could do is we could set up the July section. I will be using the same kit as before, just because it is so cute and so small, and I think it's really, really pretty. Tweezers and scissors. Now this was a freebie from Wright Designs, which I thought if I need to, I will use it. This was a 8-page kit and it's called Quiet Chapters. So I have done a full kind of flip through on my channel. It's the episode where I share Wright Designs haul, and I thought it's too cute not to, and because they're so small it fits perfectly well. I have tried some of my other kits and I just feel like it's too big right now, and I feel like I didn't quite think about the monthly section, so I think I might continue using this until it runs out. And then I think what I want to do is the same or similar thing with the headers, only because I still have some left. And I get the headers, usually get the headers from Little Boom Papery. We've got these pretty ones, and they really work coincidentally really well with this kit. We do have some weekday headers, but I won't be using them for this because I feel like it needs something a little bit more dainty. We do have these dots and this little washi, but I don't think I'll be using them today, so I'll put them on the side for now. I hope you have all been well and have been enjoying yourselves throughout whatever you do in the summer heat. We are now officially outside of this heat wave, but I've heard that we are meant to be getting a semi-mini heat wave at the end of, well, the middle of July, around the 10th. I think what I want to do is go with the blue headers. I like to start with the headers today because they are the fiddliest, and sometimes I have to cut them off. So we'll start here, and I don't mind the fact that they have a little bit of space in between. That's okay. They don't fit exactly. To me, it doesn't really bother me. I'm wondering if I should zoom in a little clear. And I apologize that I cannot film like other people where they have the planner straight. If it's not on an angle, 9 times out of 10 I am going to be getting it wrong, lopsided. I mean, majority of the time I get it lopsided anyway. So how have you all been in the heat? I had the first few days of the heat, I was absolutely fine. I was at home anyway due to isolation, and I was fine. My blood sugars, I'm a diabetic as well, so my blood sugars were okay, a little bit on the high side. And then about 7 days later, I had the worst blood sugars ever, and it felt like I was just drained of energy. So that was quite scary. Luckily it was early in the morning, so by the time it comes to about 6ish I'm kind of awake, but sometimes I just lay resting, and the alarms were not really blaring off, because when you have the fan on at night time you don't really hear it, and my phone I either must have turned it on vibrate, or I just never turned it off vibrate throughout the day, and for some reason the alarm, I couldn't hear it. So just by chance it just felt really off, and like I felt nauseous even though I was sleeping, and I woke up and lo and behold, a low blood sugar episode. And it was quite scary, as they never ever are nice, but at the same time I feel like I had a feeling it was coming. It didn't matter what carbs I ate the night before. I actually decided to change my carb ratio and insulin ratio like leading to 3 days beforehand, and I stopped taking insulin for meals altogether because I knew it was going to happen, I just didn't know when. And luckily, like I said, I caught it quite early. So for me, when the heat happens, I hate being outside because my sensor gets too hot. I wear a sensor on my arm that recognizes like 24-hour blood sugars, and it gets too hot, then I feel nauseous, and then I constantly having to do fingerprints, which make my autoimmune condition like flaring up worse. So I just stay at home even though I'm isolating anyway. I'm just thinking, what could we put in this little corner? I think these books would be good, but before we do that, let's see if we can find anything a little blue. No, I think let's do these books. And just being at home, so now that we have a chance of this possibly happening again, just going to confirm July is the 1st to the 31st. Okay, that hopefully this second bout of a heat wave isn't going to be as stressful, should I say, because we're gonna not have as much hot heat. But my intention is to still spend as much time at home as possible, because home is the best place. I've got the fan on, I've got cool air, I've got my glucose tablets, I've got food near me, lots and lots of variations of things, which I think is always helpful when you are a diabetic. I'm wondering if I should use this little pink here. Yeah, I think let's do that. That looks really pretty. So my preparation is just relaxing, making sure I have an easy week. I don't do anything strenuous anyway because of my health conditions. That's too big. Let's put it here instead. Not visible. I have to remember to be checking where I've actually got the camera, because I've changed the camera settings now, which make it a little bit easier to focus with, but it also is extremely difficult knowing where you're in the right place. I have this plant pot which is green. Maybe that would look nice there. So lots of preparation, making sure all the jobs are done so your house stays cool, you know, vacuuming, deep cleaning, all that stuff. I don't do that, my husband does that for me anyway, because physically I'm not able to. So that's the 2 pieces of decoration there, and then I'm thinking just something small along here. So we've got, I love the fact that you've got a little love heart, some pearls, some stars, some beads, but I want something that's going to feel cohesive to this area rather than it being probably I take a little bit too much time thinking, but I feel like sometimes that's what you have to do. We'll go for this little stamp. Go about there. And then we have a little candle, which I think will go well on the other side. I normally use some type of washi tape, but I couldn't find anything that would go quite well with this kit because the colours are quite muted, and I just feel like anything strong or quite bright would just ruin everything. We have a pot of pens, but we also have a cup of tea, and I think the cup of tea would probably go really well. So my plans for this semi-new heat wave will be to make sure that I'm just resting and taking it easy. I'm also going in for another procedure this week, so by the time you see this I'll probably already be there. So I think that's everything there. And then I have these little blue corner washies that I think would look really pretty. Again, I have no idea what I'm going to track here, but I want to have the option, so I'm going to leave it plain for now, and then I will come back when I make a decision. So probably by the time you see this I would have already had a procedure done, a staircase procedure, and I'll be okay, as I always am. I can't remember if I did use date dots, but I used the silver ones. I think I'm going to leave them plain. I am not quite sure what happened because the camera decided to overheat. Maybe we are going to have another heat wave. If my camera thinks it's already too hot, then it must be onto something. So all I did was added in the monthly script and some weekday scripts. I think I'm going to leave everything else plain, just because I feel like I don't need to add any foiled elements. I've done it for the month of June, which is really pretty. I like the difference between June and July, even though it's the exact same kit, and I've decided that I think I'm going to continue on until the kit has finished, and I think it's turned out really, really pretty. I love the blues in this, just a little blue there and a little bit of blue there, and then the headers being blue, just really tie it all in. If you have any suggestions of what you think that I should do in my monthly sections, let me know. And if you have any suggestions to what I should do in the kind of beginning sections where all the months are, these ones here, I'm not sure what you call them. I know some people like track different things, but I don't know whether I should just do one line a day of something to be grateful for, or if I should just not do anything. I would love any suggestions if possible. Of course, if you're not part of YouTube and you don't sign in, you can always let me know over on my other social media accounts. But of course, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do, to receive notifications of upcoming videos. I share roughly about 3 times a week with some sort of bonus content, and of course over on my website I also share 3 to 4 times a week, whether it's blog posts, short stories, recipes, things like that. So I'll leave the links in the description box below. I do have a weekly comfort issue, which is an email issue, just talk about things, chat about life, what I'm reading, what I'm watching, that type of thing. And again, all the links are in the description box below. If you haven't seen the July freebies for this month, they are over on my website in the grab and go section. You can find everything at www.mycreativechroniclife.co.uk. I think I'll be back next on one of the days where I decide to sit down and do some planning. I just wanted to pop on, have like an initial chat, share some pieces of information, share what my regional setup is like, because I know, like me, I really enjoy seeing how other people plan in their planners. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. But thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, bye bye.